everybody, I'm Latrina Patrick. Welcome to day 86 of our 90-day grant writing tutorial. Today we want to pick up with part 2 of the logical grant writing process. Yesterday we covered the first 7 steps of the logical grant writing process, and today we're going to pick up with the remaining final 7 steps so that you're clear about what you need to be doing to get ready to pursue grants. So let's pick up with number 8. Number 8 is dissemination of information. One thing about funders is they want to make sure that they are getting the most bang for their buck. And one way that you can demonstrate that is to show them that you will be disseminating information about what it is you're doing with your program so that it can be of benefit to someone else or other communities similar to yours. So you want to describe your dissemination of information plan in detail. You want to identify any exportable products or describe things that you may be sharing with other communities or similar organizations. And then you want to identify your plan for continuation funding. And this speaks to sustainability. Another thing that I should say that funders want to see is that when their money runs out, because no funder is going to just continuously fund you, typically it's going to be from 1 to 3 years. 1 year if it's like a foundation grant or so, maybe 3 years from them. But typically for a federal or state grant, it's going to be about 3 years. Some federal grants can go for 5 years, but nobody is going to fund you forever. And so they want to be able to see that once their funding runs out, that you have a plan to continue this program. So you want to identify your sustainability and your continuation plan. The 9th step is the budget. So you want to develop in detail based on the grant components. They're going to spell out what needs to be in this budget. And you also want this to be based on what you've shared in your narrative. I always say your narrative drives your budget. So there should not be an item in your budget that hasn't been justified in your program narrative. So that's going to be key. And then the budget items are always documented in formulas and narrative. So you want to show the numbers in your table form for your budget, but you also want to submit a budget narrative so that you can justify each of those costs. Funders always want to see what you're requesting, why you're requesting, and how the numbers break down. So that's going to be very important. The 10th step of the logical grant writing process is the timelines. So you want to make sure that you develop with detail and in chronological order how this program is going to be implemented using timelines. So identifying month 1, month 2, we're going to do this, month 3, we're going to actually roll out the program, month 6, we're going to start the first phase of our evaluation. Just whatever it looks like, you want to be able to describe in detail those key activities, those milestone activities. And a few weeks ago, I did a tutorial on timelines and management plans, so you want to refer back to that for some more specifics. The 11th step is a project summary. This one throws people off because as a new grant writer, I used to try to write this first because it's only about 500 words. It's placed at the beginning of the proposal before the table of contents, so it's the first thing that reviewers are going to see. And so you think you want to write it first, but in actuality you want to write it last because this is a summary of your program. And if you try to write it first before you've actually developed your narrative in your program in writing, then it's very difficult to write, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to change. So wait until you have all that stuff flushed out and you have a finalized narrative. Then you can go back and pull out 500 key components, 500 words of key components of the program to describe to the reviewer what it is they're about to read. So that should be the 11th thing, your program summary / abstract. They're the same things. The words are used interchangeably sometimes. The 12th thing is appendices and table of contents. Now that you have gotten all the other stuff together, now you can go back and do your appendices and your table of contents because everything is pretty much finalized by now. The 13th thing you want to do is to proof and polish. So now you want to get a little OCD about everything. You want to not only have your eyes look over it, but some fresh eyes, maybe a member from your team or someone that doesn't really know your program that well and they can read it objectively. But you want to get them to go in and proofread it, review it. You get someone to check for grammatical errors, style things. You want to do a final recheck of the RFP, making sure that you've brought out all of those mandatory components that the RFP identified that are necessary to be within your proposal. And then the 14th thing and the final thing is the follow-up. So you want to make sure that you create copies, during this phase for your partners and for your file so that you have it for yourself. You want to seek political intervention if necessary. So you may have a grant of great significance from the feds, and it may be appropriate to get your congressional leaders to kind of do a follow-up for you to nosy around a little bit. Sometimes that can be very helpful depending on the type of project you're applying for. And then you want to see comments from your reviewers. Now, for federal grants, you're pretty much going to get this automatically. They're going to send out the reviewer's notes with your letter of award and or your notice of rejection. So either way, you're going to get those from them. If you don't, you can request it. And many foundations will also allow you to find out, why you didn't get funded. They may or may not make the notes available, but you can still follow up to ask some questions. And that's pretty much it. Those are the 14 steps of the logical grant writing process. I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those for me here on my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and you will get immediate notification every time I upload a new video. And if you found this helpful, I hope that you'll share this link to these tutorials with your friends and colleagues who could also benefit. I'd love to have them get this knowledge as well. If you want to subscribe to my email updates and also my newsletters, go over to my website at www.greatervisionconsulting.com and you will be able to do that. While you're on the site, check out my bio, check out my experience, and most of all, check out the services that I offer because I love the opportunity to work with you and your organization. That's it for today. I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another great tutorial. Talk to you soon. Bye.